But now I don't see those cobbles and curbs. I don't hear the blues anymore.
Rough Trade is giving away a third of the first 3 months of the Rough Trade Club plus new music membership exclusively to 101 Part-Time Jobs listeners. Become a member of Rough Trade Club New Music and you'll receive the Rough Trade Album of the Month straight to your door every month on exclusive vinyl pressing with exclusive bonus material. Club members have received exclusive pressings of albums from Sufjan Stevens, Sprints, The Last Dinner Party, Julie Byrne, and Over Mono, just to name a few, this past year alone. Sign up using the promo code CLUB101POD and you'll get the Rough Trade Album of the Month, English Teacher's excellent debut album, This Could Be Texas, on exclusive Galaxy Gold for a third of the usual price. Here's English Teacher on a recent episode of 101.
How many opportunities do you get to write a debut album and have all of this, sport behind us? I don't know, I really like the idea of holding the bar as being like classic songs.
You only get one shot at a debut.
Don't want the album of the month but still want all the benefits? Sign up to the standard tier using Club 101 Pod and you'll still get the first month free. You'll also get free shipping on all orders, 10% off the bar and on secondhand vinyl in store, and exclusive access to sold out Rough Trade events. So don't hang around. Go to roughtrade.com/club and sign up with the code CLUB101POD. That's CLUB101POD and claim money off the album of the month, English Teachers This Could Be Texas, today. This offer's available to UK residents only. Do you play in bands? I did for the longest time. And I wish that I knew that DistroKid was a thing. I don't even think it existed back then. DistroKid makes music distribution fun and easy with unlimited uploads, and artists keep 100% of your royalties and earnings. 1 million plus artists rely on DistroKid to get their music on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, TikTok, Tidal, Instagram, and all the major streaming services. When you get DistroKid, you can see a DistroKid bank and withdraw your earnings. You get notified when you've earned royalties and you can withdraw via the app. And you can even check your streaming stats on Spotify and Apple. Get 30% off your first year on DistroKid by going to distrokid.com/VIP/101pod. 30% off for your first year. That's not bad. We know it's a tough world out there. Why don't you make it easier for yourself? And to get 30% off that free year as an artist, where you get 100% of your royalties and earnings, go to distrokid.com/VIP/101pod. All right, stay with me. I'll be right back after this.
Hey there. Did you know Baker's always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower than low prices? And when you download the Baker's app, you'll enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. And don't forget fuel points to help you save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. Want to save even more? With a Boost membership, you'll get double fuel points and free delivery. So shop and save big at Baker's today. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The Vietnam War, it's over. Your job's just begun.
A new HBO original limited series.
Welcome to the world of spycraft. Strap in.
From executive producers Park Chan-wook and Robert Downey Jr.
What are you concealing?
Based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Viet Thanh Nguyen.
What if I told you that I was a communist spy?
How did you become this?
The Sympathizer, streaming April 14th on Max. Subscription required.
Pulled up in his car, he was early, he was dressed sharp.
Hello, welcome to 101 Part-Time Jobs with me, Giles Bidder. It's a podcast where I speak to bands and artists about all the different types of things they do to make it work. It's not easy being an independent artist in 2023, but Lauran Hibberd has been smashing it. Her debut album, Garage Band Superstar, took her all over the world, touring with some amazing bands, including All Time Low, who she was on tour with when I spoke to her for this episode. She was actually just about to go on stage where I interviewed her, and I only found that out after the chat, and I thought, wow, very impressive, very good use of time. So thank you, Lauran, for chatting to me moments before hitting the stage with All Time Low in Australia. Lauran has announced her second album, Girlfriend Material, which is coming out next March on Virgin. Lauran is a good one. I've spoken to her a couple of times now. Spoke with her at Reading Festival, and before then when her debut album Garage Band Superstar came out. And she's funny, she's original, she comes from this place of Avril Lavigne worship, this pop punk kaleidoscope of vulnerability and hooks, and I'm here for it. If you like this episode, please feel free to subscribe or rate or review it if you have 30 seconds. I massively appreciate that. And those ratings, reviews, subscriptions, those all go towards building this podcast and making sure we can keep on getting these incredible guests. You can also vote for 101 Part-Time Jobs at podbiblemag.com. If you click through at podbiblemag.com, they've got their listener polls live, and if you click through to the very last page, you can type in 101 Part-Time Jobs for their Oh My Pod category, and if we win, I tell ya, it's gonna be big, and whatever happens, you're going to be invited. I can assure you that. Before we speak to Lauran, just a shout out to our sponsors. 2000 Trees Festival in Cheltenham supports 101 Part-Time Jobs. Cheltenham is just a few hours away from London on the train. It's a brilliant independent festival where you can see some of your favourite bands from the Gaslight Anthem, Manchester Orchestra, Teenage Wrist, Gouge Away, The Mysterines, Hot Mulligan, Boston Manor. 2000 Trees is always a stacked lineup, always a great range of artists and bands, from indie rock to pop punk to hardcore, some acoustic stuff in there as well. If you're looking for a festival to go to next July, 2000 Trees is the one. I'm telling you, 2000trees.co.uk is where you can get your tickets, and if you purchase tickets before the end of the year, then you'll be able to get a free refund if you find out that you can't make it. Get your tickets today at 2000trees.co.uk. Okay, before we get into this chat, I've got Rebecca from Eka and also Ampolo here. Ampolo is the first all-in-one app connecting a global community of musicians to practice, record and collaborate. And there's some new features coming on there, aren't there, Rebecca? You can start making money as an artist. Other artists can remix your songs. What's going on over there?
So we've heard people say before that the magic of the app is the fact that you're able to upload any music, remove your instrument and play along so you feel part of the song. I mean, there's really no feeling like it when you're playing with one of your favourite songs and you feel like you're part of that band. We have revolutionary tools which allow you to layer your audio and video recordings to share and collaborate with others in your own real-time project. And that's all thanks to our AI music separation.
All right, Ampolo, download it now. Right, here we go. It's the Garage Band Superstar girlfriend material from Australia before hitting the stage with All Time Low. It's Lauran Hibberd. 101 Part-Time Jobs. What's it like supporting All Time Low? You've done it before.
It's so fun. It's become like a weird habit of mine, which I just love. It's a habit I would like to continue. Because we've basically followed them around the world this year. So I'm going to say it. I think we're friends.
Big.
It's big, but I feel like that.
It's difficult being around people that you really look up to and have listened to for more years than you have fingers, so in some cases. And it is like, how nervous are you allowed to be? How confident are you allowed to be? Where is the line? It is a minefield.
I mean, I'm very well known for being a grower. So I think them having this long with me has been fantastic from my personality.
It's worked for you.
It's worked. The long game has worked for me this time. Whereas if we'd only had a week together, they probably would have been like, oh, is she a bit weird? I don't know. But I think, 6 months down the line, we might be friends. We might be.
I've got a friend. We're still friends, so that has something to say. But when we were teenagers and we'd known each other for a year or two, he said, "You'll never be able to." I don't think maybe he was speaking to me specifically, but he was like, he will never come back from a first impression, and I was mortified. Yeah,
that's why they're scary. That's why you get in your head and you ruin the first impression.
That's it. You gotta do it. I mean, what was your best first impression this year? I mean, we're coming up to Christmas now. Really, we should do a Christmas episode here, but actually, we'll get to that. What was your best first impression this year? Do you think?
Probably, I said hi to Avril Lavigne, which is quite cool. But I don't know if I get left an impression. I said hi as if I knew her. So I said it with confidence to a degree that she felt necessary to reply. And that was, I think, a good first impression, to be honest.
Can you transcribe that conversation for us, please? Because I feel like I should ask.
Yeah. So it went like this. Hi. That was me. Now it's Avril. Hey. That was it. As I walked past her. I thought about saying more, and then I thought, it will just be worse.
Yes. Yeah, it'll only get worse from...
Whatever I say next will be significantly worse than just saying hi.
I sometimes think, right, in these environments that you're in, I'm occasionally in them when I go to the radio station, where there's lots of people, right? And you and I both, I think we're in the same pod when we think we want to have a fun time. We want to chat to people. Yeah. If they're left with a good impression, then I'm not going to hide it. I'd be very happy with that. I'd be happy with that. How do you go into an environment with lots of people and kind of simultaneously chat to everybody but nobody? Because I feel like that is the skill. Because you can't get bogged down in some deep chat, some DMCs.
No.
Because then you're not chatting to anyone else.
You need to initiate the hi. You need to crack a joke. So it's the hi, you're a human, get your name in there, instantly set the tone that you're a funny individual that you might want to have around, and then you quickly move on.
Yes.
And then you go, oh, anywho, probably anywho, you say. Anywho, and then you move on.
And then you see laters, guys.
And then you say laters, yeah, and then you put a post-it note on their back with your phone number on or something.
See, this is real talk of like trying to do something every day that you like. You know, whether it's playing music, being like a creative. Yeah. You've been full-time since we last spoke 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, more or less. Yeah. Give me the update. Give me the lowdown. Where are you at spiritually, personal growth wise?
Yeah, personally, I am spending a lot of time watching Married at First Sight UK, and I'm fine with it. Spiritually, I am in the process of releasing my second record, which is much more fun than releasing my first record because I don't feel uptight about it. I feel free, like an eagle.
GarageBand Superstar, I remember you saying just was like a whirlwind. It was just kind of... I remember thinking that the way you were talking about it, that it sort of happened very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird because your debut album is sort of being made as soon as you become a musician, really. It's like in the back of your head that one day you'll have to make this thing. And then it becomes like this weird cloud and you're like, oh my God, I've got to make an album. Oh, I don't know how to do that. But you do, but you just don't think you do. And then you just kind of, it just became very pressureful for me. And then my dad died and it was all a bit rubbish. So I just kind of am ready to move on from that, to be honest, and just be like, here's my second album. Here's where I'm at now, which feels like a much better place.
And your dad passed, was that just before the release of GarageBand?
Yeah, that was just before the album came out, which was spectacular timing from him. Love that. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you, I mean, you're writing, so, you know, I Suck at Grieving is of course all about him. And it's like, you know, friends and family past, you know, and it's quite difficult to like know what to do in the time. And who to speak to about it and how much to talk about it and how much to think about it. Because, I mean, hey, this is seriously personal shit. So please, you know, feel free to tell me that you don't want to talk about it. But, I mean,
I'm good.
How did you deal with it? Was it friends? Was it other family that you were able to go to? Was it therapy?
It kind of, I don't really know how I dealt with it. I kind of straight away just wanted to get back to doing stuff. And I think... maybe for me, I like associate it with that first album coming out, kind of. And I was kind of trying to push this thing, which I didn't really feel like pushing, if you know what I mean. So that was kind of like, I just was straight away like, well, okay, dealt with that, or thought I dealt with that in like a week, which I obviously didn't. And then was like, right, let's just carry on with the album. Everyone was like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I guess I feel like I've only started processing it from writing album 2, to be honest. And like, it definitely changed me as like a person, and I made some kind of big life changes because of it, which I think has actually put me in a better place, which is funny. I think you can harden up so much to certain things that make things you're worried about before seem easier to overcome. So I feel like I've done loads of little things to help myself, which has been really good actually. But yeah, it's a crazy weird thing, but I think and I never really wanted to write about it. I didn't really want to do that, but I think this song felt really special to me, and I worked with a guy called Aaron Gillespie. He's in Under Oath. You probably know him. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And he really like brought out this kind of like this side of me musically that I was very afraid of, and he was very like celebrating of that, and he's such an influence of mine, and he loved this song so much and encouraged me so much to put it on the record and to make it a single and kind of show a different side of, I guess, the character that I have going on. So yeah, it was really good. I found it a really great experience, and I'm really happy I released it. And playing it, you know, at the end of every set and having people come up to me and cry is unusual, but it's nice, you know, because normally I'm the girl that writes songs about Honda Civics or your ex-boyfriend, and that's cool too. But it's also really nice to kind of see someone genuinely kind of like ache in front of you, and you just be like, whoa, I did that. You know, it's like a cathartic feeling.
Fear is such a powerful thing. Like, fear can prevent you from doing the things you need to do or want to do. Fear can prevent you from actually being the person that you want to be. Like, fear can actually really strip you of your dignity.
Yeah.
And so when you were speaking to Aaron from Under Oath, that element of kind of like losing that fear, that must have been so, I mean, I want to use the word empowering, but I feel like that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's even more than that, you know, it's like being a human, being you.
Yeah, I remember playing him the first demo and being like, before I hit play of I Saw It Grieving, I was like, oh, I don't think this one's like record worthy, but I'll play it anyway. And it started and he was like, Lauran, shut up. Lauran, shut up. This is going on the record. Like, he was like flipping out. And I remember recording it. My guitarist and my best friend Jess came up with me to Nashville to record. And I remember finishing the first vocal take and turning around and she was crying on the sofa. And I was like, oh my God. It just like, it's the first time I've like really felt something, you know, and that I've created, apart from like joy. It's like the first time I've been like, oh my God, like that kind of pains me, but in this really positive way. I don't know. It's really strange, but yeah, it's definitely something I'll never forget.
101 part-time jobs, 101 part-time jobs.
How have you got to be like journaling? And because I guess in your personal life and your songwriting life, are they very much weaved in to each other? Are they sewn into each other?
Yeah, this second album feels very much like you could put it down Waterstones and call it an autobiography. It's freaking me out. I feel a bit nervous about it. I reckon I'm going to get a couple messages about some of those songs, but we'll see. It is just real though, so I'm still sorry, my band's in the background and they're laughing about the Waterstones biography line.
That's brilliant.
They love it.
That's funny.
It's a really, I'm happy I said that.
Did you ever see that Johnny Flynn TV show where he gets an STD and then he texts everyone he's ever slept with and kind of meets up with them and says, I've got an STD. It's like it's called The Lovers. No, is it The Lovers? Scrotal Recall, it's called.
Oh my God. No, I've not seen that, but I will watch that immediately.
Do you know Johnny Flynn? Like, such a sweetheart.
Yeah. I don't know him personally.
Oh my God. No, me neither. I wish I did. I don't think I would be able to speak to him personally. I'm such a big fan.
No.
Hey, what's your favourite Gilmore Girls plot?
Oh, I was having a big discussion about Gilmore Girls earlier, actually. Gilmore Girl, my favourite plot. My favourite episode is... it's going to be cliche, It is cliche. But my favourite episode is when Rory graduates from Yale, because it's so beautiful, and it's like that end of season experience, and like you just see everything that her mother has gone through to like get her to that point, and it's so beautiful, and I just weep like a baby every time, and I've watched it like 105 times. So
is there something about Lauran Hibberd that it's like an amalgamation of a lot of the TV shows that you're watching, and in that way that we're all kind of that one character in Friends, this is kind of wider. This is wider than that.
Yes, I do think so. I think I am whatever TV show I'm watching at the moment. Do you know what I mean? That's just my character. I'm very easily led. So right now I could be Kim Kardashian, because I have been watching the Kardashians non-stop. So if I get a button next week, don't be shocked.
Hasn't Travis Barker and the Kardashians kind of changed that kind of whole perception for a lot of people? Because obviously Travis Barker, I'm not saying the Kardashians weren't, but Travis Barker's got this integrity, this authenticity that I think he's really brought to the family.
He really has. I love watching their like family dinners. I think it's so cool. I just love how I watch them eat, and I'm like, where does it go? Where does it go? They must instantly go to the gym afterwards, because it's incredible. But yeah, they live a good life, and I love to watch it. I love to watch it.
What's your favourite thing to do when you're travelling around? If there's something you've got to do in the daytime, what is that thing? You know, it can be as kind of innocuous or banal as you like, but what's that one thing that you need to do? Earlier you mentioned kind of making little changes that accumulate to like a better life. What are some of those things you think?
Some of those things, I guess, I mean, I live by myself now, which is new for me. So that's a new game in itself, because you talk to yourself a lot. And like, you can't say to someone like, oh, what do you want to watch? Or like, what do you want for dinner? You have to make that choice. And it's so weird when you don't know it. When you don't know the answer, it's so weird how long you might sit and look at the TV until you decide, like by yourself. And I've just realised I've been passenger for a little bit, and I'm like just very much adjusting to like deciding if I like tofu or not, or if they just like tofu. Do you know what I mean? It's interesting.
Have you got a shop nearby where you can get the pre-packaged kind of braised tofu? You know, you don't want to get like the silk tofu, because that is like 3 hours work into 5 minutes enjoyment.
I mean, I live on the Isle of Wight, so chance would be a fine thing. But I do have an Aldi round the corner, so that's good enough for me.
Proper. I just got myself some Lidl socks and some Lidl shorts the other day.
Oh, you're winning. You're winning at life.
Sometimes you just think like, oh my God, clothes do change me.
They really do. They really do.
What was your favourite band T-shirt growing up?
My favourite band T-shirt growing up was probably...
What was the one T-shirt that you had? You know, you knew what day you were washing it, because you knew you'd be going out in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think when I was like a lot younger, I just listened to pop music, so I'd be Justin Bieber dripping head to toe, and I'm talking like the baby, like Never Say Never era. So I had like the bed sheets and everything. No, and I remember having. Yeah, no, I did full send. So I remember having a Justin Bieber hoodie, and I remember that being like a staple. And I remember my mum being like, "Lauren, can I wash it tonight?" And I'd be like, "Oh, is it going to be dry by the morning though? Because it's very important I have it again." And I remember being like, "Yeah, living in that, which was fun."
That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
101 part-time jobs. 101 part-time jobs. 101 part-time jobs. 101 part-time jobs.
conversation about this is the part-time jobs. I feel like most people have had these kind of little jobs, longer jobs.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of my mates probably laugh at me for dedicating my life to this podcast, because I've traditionally been such a flake with every job that I've ever worked. You know, at the supermarket or like at the cafe, I was always there for like a month and I'd dip. How do you sum up your your part-time work life, Lauran? Give us yourself, like, you know, your own appraisal looking back upon those days.
I would say I am a below average worker with an above average attitude of how hard I work. So I think there's a complex in which I think I'm at my full capability, and probably from the outside looking in, I'm about 20%. I think is my biggest thing. But I'll do one thing and I'll be like, whoa, they needed me today. You know what I mean? I remember that. I remember that at a hair salon I used to work at. I remember my boss, he was friends with my mum, which was really awkward. But I remember her always being like, come on, Lauran. And I'd always be like, what is her problem? I'm working my arse off. And I literally wasn't at all. But at the time, I felt so strongly about it that I was. And like looking back now, I'm like, obviously I wasn't doing anything.
Everyone's good at something, right?
Yeah.
There are some things that come easier to us than worse to others. So you might be really good with numbers, or you might be really bad with numbers. But when you're good at something, it makes it easier to do it. So you could be coasting at 40%, doing a better job than anyone else. Ideal scenario.
Yeah, that is the ideal scenario, which is what I do now. I just coast. I coast down 40% in the music industry. See what happens. What would happen if I tried? Yeah. Honestly, money bags.
Like Christmas jobs is a thing. I mean, I worked at a supermarket in town. It was a Waitrose, so that'll tell you a little bit. That'll give you some kind of framing of the commuter belt town that I grew up in. And I'm not joking, like 4 of my best mates, still my best friends, we were working there. And everyone who worked there got an invite to this Christmas party where there's free booze, there's free snacks, there's all of the good stuff. And everyone, right, how unhinged or bad idea of the bosses is this? Everyone got a +1. So we would basically invite like everyone we ever knew to get fucking battered with our weird bosses, you know, because you got the sort of 16-year-old us being like, and you got the 50-year-olds being like, yeah, I got something to prove. And like just that as a real kind of mishmash. What were your Christmas times like?
I've been on a few Christmas parties in my time. That's the one thing about being in the music industry that isn't fun, is that there's no Christmas parties really for like, unless, I mean, maybe that's my job. Maybe I should be taking everyone out for Christmas. They're nodding. I should be taking everyone out for a Christmas party. That's on me. I just realised that.
Big time.
Thank you for that. I did not know that. But I remember, obviously, when
Dream party would be there'd be probably a water park or something involved. Probably there'd be water involved. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense for us. Yeah, they just said in December as if it's not okay. All right, we won't do that then. What about we'll sit around a campfire, toast marshmallows. No, they don't want to go outside either. That's what I mean. That's why I won't do it, because it's too much. You'll bottle it.
We'll all go Nando's, shall we? Yeah, done.
What is your Nando's flavour? This is a real divisive question.
I'll get rinsed, lemon and herb. I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
Isle of Wight during Christmas, I imagine you as if you're like a different world. Yeah. To just get really into it. There's a lot of trinkets that come out, like a lot of gnomes that come out on the kitchen garden. A lot of clickety clackities, like people wearing like different kinds of clothes, almost kind of like a Morris dancer kind of vibe that comes out.
The Isle of Wight is kind of like, if you've ever seen Gavin and Stacey, it's kind of like Barry Island. It's the same vibe. So it's like, yeah, we really try and do Christmas well, but it just really never takes off, because you've just got one guy and his cat running it. and it is too much for him. So he's gone to put the tree up in the square, and he can't reach the top, and he ain't got a ladder, so we'll just leave it and do the bottom bit. It's just like, that's Christmas on the Isle of Wight.
It's like Whoville.
It's literally Whoville, but no, it is fun. I've had some fun Christmas parties on the Isle of Wight. I guess this is like it wherever you go, but like I remember when I worked at the hair salon, like every business up that road had their Christmas party on the same night. So we'd be like, oh my God, that's Matey from Screwfix, and we'd all be like having a laugh about it. But it's so small town that I can't. Do you know what I mean? It's like Jim from the post office, and you're with him at the pub, and it's really random and weird because you shouldn't be with him because he's your postman.
I always enjoyed being in a small town, skipping parties, going from one party, like routing, like how long are you going to spend at each party, because maybe there's 2 or 3, not showing off. But
I was going to say, how many friends have you got?
Friends or kind of acquaintances. I try and straddle that, because then you get invited to more stuff.
Straddle away.
And if you get invited to more stuff, then there's more snack tables. And if there's more snack tables, there's more me.
Perfect. I love that. Find
me at any wedding by the cheese table. I'll never be lost.
I'll see you there. I will see you there at the table.
Hey, thanks so much, Lauran. Thanks for making the time during the shows, during the tour.
I hope you have the best Christmas.
What is just to finish with, what is your like ideal Christmas spread? I'm getting myself hungry here for breakfast. What's your ideal Christmas spread? I'm
a big fan of roast potatoes in a big way. Ooh. So I'd quite like an array of roast potatoes. Some more crispy than others. I also really like Yorkshire puddings, cauliflower cheese. I just like all the side bits. I'm not that fussed about eating meat. I just want all the fun bits on the outside, to be honest. So a lot of that, would make me very happy. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I think there's something to say for my mum does this actually, and we did it last Christmas. We had a bit of a orphan Christmas. So if there's anyone around who is lonely, or maybe their friends or their family aren't here, then we invite them round. And my mum does the same thing to sort of a couple of her mates.
That's so sweet. I love that.
It's the time to do it.
It is, for sure. I love that.
Hey, Lauran, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So good to see you again.
Good to see you. There she was, Lauran Hibberd. Girlfriend material? We'll find out next March. Coming out on Virgin Records. You love the singles that have been coming out. I love the way that she described this new record as like her Waterstones belonging autobiography. Big fan of that. Also love how much humility she has. She writes these great songs and albums and has a sense of humour about it. That is the good stuff. Cheers for listening to 101 Part-Time Jobs. Please subscribe, leave a rating or a review if you enjoyed this episode. That stuff helps me and the show massively. Thank you so much if you're able to do that. I'm back tomorrow with Frank Carter from Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. Later on with Speed, and then on Friday with Benny from the Gaslight Anthem. So loads of stuff coming up. Subscribe to make sure you get it, and I'll see you then.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woo-hooer, a hand clapper, a high-fiver? I kind of like the high-five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.